G'day guys, alright, we're back here with Callum Kersop. We're about to critique the video. He's had a bit of a chat with his coach and obviously they've come to a bit of an agreement that we need to focus a little bit more on technique as opposed to speed and power, because that will come later. So we're going to turn around here, we're going to have a look at his technique and just critique and pick out the major things that we see. And obviously there'll be some changes to training, but also that'll need some changes in regards to what we do here in treatment as well. So at least we're getting to the bottom of it. So we'll spin around and go into the critique. All right, okay, so let's start the video. So the first thing that we see when Cal comes out of this is the first couple of steps, which is the issue. So we come out, first foot goes down, that's number one. Okay, so I'll repeat that back there. So that's your foot placement there. Second one. So hopefully everyone can start to see what the problem is there in terms of your shin soreness. Starts and ends with that foot placement in that way, Cal. Stands out like the proverbial. But that's okay, because that's changeable. That's technique. That's you not knowing that as well. We go on. Okay, we have a look at the second one. Also, similar situation again. You're screwing that rear foot around again. So that what that does is it asks that muscle that runs up the inside, what we call tibialis posterior, where you get your shin soreness, to work overtime. Okay. So that no wonder you have so much shin soreness. It's all right to have load when it's excessive, but this is on another level. Okay, so yeah, we have that. Now, the next thing is we go down, bang, twist, 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 so it just continues on. But the next thing is, Cal, look at this. There, look how far over the midline your foot's starting to come. So you're crossing your legs across as you run. Not ideal. Okay, and it basically just gets worse as you come down the track. Alright, now let's have a look at this side view, because this is really important for a couple of reasons. One, you start, come out, you're getting up upright real quick.
Way too soon.
Way too soon. I mean, there's no acceleration there.
No.
You know, so I think that's something you need to have a chat with about your coach, and I'm sure he'll
pick that up. Oh,
for sure. And that's just technique. So, and I was talking to Mon about this yesterday, you know, because I showed her as well. I wanted to do a critique on it. She goes, "Yeah, he's up way too fast.
Yeah.
Way too fast." That's okay. That's just technique, mate. That's not a problem. So, but it's when you get on further, right here is your hip extension. You're lacking any hip extension right there as well. It's not enough hip extension. I'm tipping that right hip flexor is tight, and that's not allowing you to really be able to push through your hip extension. Okay, that's really important because that's your power there.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we come back here, not too bad on the left, but that right is certainly inhibited for sure. And I'm not going to be surprised that that's going to be related to that hip flexor attachment on the right, which is right here. Okay, so if you're tight here, overactive, then what happens is it inhibits this big muscle on the back here, which is your glute max.
Yeah.
And that's your power, right? So you're not getting full range and pushing all the way through there. So that there being tight inhibits that there, okay? And that's one of the things I want to have a look at with you as well.
So how do we fix that?
Well, for me, it's a simple process of releasing that muscle at the attachment.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's treatment.
Okay.
The rest of it will fall in line with your coach, because he will be looking at technique for you. I can aid in this, but the beauty is at least we've now got a level playing field in terms of where you're at, Cal. and then we can revert back to this, and we'll go back down to the track and do some more filming later on once we've made some changes.
Yeah, because that's what I said to Joe. I said that the right hip's restricted.
Yeah.
So, and then he said maybe I need to do a little more gym work in the hips to like strengthen it.
Okay. So my problem with that sometimes with strengthening will be the fact that you may have, it's not a strength issue at the moment, it's inhibited because you're tight by the other muscle. If we release that, then the strength is there. Okay?
Yeah.
Strengthening something that's already strong and will get stronger once it's not inhibited will be counterproductive. Okay? So I think what we should do is just treat this area, open it up, free it up, and then let's see how it goes. And if it's called for, because you're just going to get stronger from running, it's as simple as that.
Yeah. So we just need to unlock that muscle.
Yeah, that'll be part of it. And there'll also be the front view when you're running through here, that knee starts to track in as well.
Yeah.
So that will be the battle between the muscle on the outside and the muscle on the inside as well.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? So we can't look at it in just one field. So, you know, it's really important that we get both of those there. Right. All right. So let's check Cal's hip extension for his right, because obviously that's one of the issues that we're having in terms of him running. Look. Yeah. Okay. So we're at that there. Whereabouts do you feel that, Cal?
Lower back.
Lower back? In this area here, or more up in there?
A bit harder.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Look at this one now. Yeah, so you've got a lot more range on that. So straight away, we can see that there's a restriction with that hip extension for sure. Yeah, okay, all right, let's get you on your side. No, sorry, onto your back. Not too bad. Yeah. Where do you feel that?
In there.
Yep, okay, good. Oh. Where do you feel that one?
Like more
Over there. Right, so there's a difference here straight away.
Yeah.
You get similar range of movement, but the difference is you get all the way to the end of your range and then you feel it. Whereas with this is what I'm feeling. You get to about here and then it starts and it's just a one big block right there. And that's going to be all this. Okay. So if we release this anterior hip, ductor magnus, take the load off glute medius, hip flexor off glute max, and then we'll see what we're left over with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I know for you, you're probably thinking, just make me run fast, or faster, or more efficient, because at the moment, you're not. So there's going to be a bit of an issue with technique, but also with restriction. So that's good. At least we're getting to the bottom of it.
Well, that makes sense because
And then the shins are related to the fact that when you step out of your starts, you're screwing straight through with that rear foot. So that's loading that tibialis posterior. So the first thing we do here, this is going to be fun. So your hip flexor comes down and attaches onto the inside, of your hip joint. So as you're driving out that way, if it's tight and restricted there, it doesn't allow you to get into full hip extension. So you're pulling short through your stride.
Yes, I'm not getting the
Where's
full
your power?
cadence.
That's your power there, So it's not going to be functional, mate. All right.
Yeah.
But that's all right. So we're just going to sink into this trigger point here. Yep. Do you feel that there?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And then we just hold it.
That's even on now.
I've got a little bit more coming up, don't worry. I'm just resting on it at the moment. I'm not even sinking into it, so
Good to know.
yeah. It'll take a little bit to give way. That's good. Starting to give away a little bit now.
Yeah.
So you'll be probably fairly tight through this other muscle that runs all the way down, which is the rectus femoris muscle.
Rectus femur.
Yes, rectus femoris. So it's a hip flexor and a knee flexor. So it plays two roles. So we'll obviously have to look at releasing that as well. And then there will be a trigger point right next to that as well.
Okay.
So once we release those two, then we'll check your internal rotation, because that might free up that internal rotation of your hip. Then we'll do your adductor, magnus, and that's to help your glute medius. Okay, so you're thinking of muscles that oppose each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so they need to be in balance.
Mm.
Okay, so if you've got one tighter than the other, or one inhibiting the other because it's over tight or overactive, and it needs to be what we call released, then that provides the balance relationship. Okay.
Yeah.
If you've got one that's excessively tight, it inhibits, doesn't allow the other one to do what it's supposed to do.
Mm.
Yeah. This is good. This is backing off beautifully.
Yeah.
You can feel that now. See how I'm sinking into it now.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, that's great. Just going to pull that in a little bit more. Yeah, that's better. Now I can sink into your hip.
Yeah.
Right, that's good. That's what we want.
Good.
Right. What do we need now? Need some blue Nivea cream. So we'll have the knee bent because so this muscle goes from here all the way down across your kneecap. Okay, well actually it's embedded in your kneecap. Okay, well the kneecap's embedded in the patella, comes down and attaches here. So we want to release the length of that muscle while it's on stretch, because this stretches it in this position. Okay, and just recently I found a muscle, a new muscle.
Ooh.
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
That sits directly underneath this muscle, right up in the attachment.
What's it called?
It's called the iliocapsularis muscle.
Oh.
There's not much literature about it. I'm not 100% sure on its function. So it sits basically right over the front of the anterior capsule of the hip joint. And it's basically right where the trigger point for this rec fem is.
Oh.
Yeah. So iliocapsularis, for anyone out there on Google right at this moment, you'll be Googling it. Iliocapsularis. Yeah. When are you training next, Carl?
After this,
Oh yeah?
just doing a full session.
Oh, okay. Yep. No, that's all right.
And then Saturday morning, I need some beach.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so now we're going to sit onto that rectus femoris trigger point, or iliocapsularis. Now this trigger point can refer basically right through the top of your, that's it, now we can sink in here, top of your knee. That's it there. You feel that there?
Yeah.
Is that like a deep ache?
Yeah.
Through the rest of your thigh almost?
Yeah.
Okay. So just let me know when that starts to ease. So this technique is essentially just to create some balance between that hip extension and that hip flexor. So once that hip flexor gets tight, that inhibits the hip extensor at the back. So we don't need to go rushing off into the strengthening and conditioning yet, because I don't think it's a strength issue. I think it's only because it's inhibited because of these restrictions. How's that feeling now, Cal? Is it
Getting a little bit better.
starting to ease?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that? It's starting to bottom out for me now. But
Yeah.
okay, good. Good work, Cal. All right, so the next step. What are we doing now, Cal? We're doing adductor magnus, Stuart. Okay, so if we can, the best way to work adductor magnus, okay, we're going to bring the hip into a bit of extension and abduction. Okay, adductor magnus is the big muscle right underneath your adductor longus. Okay, so it comes along here. Okay, so it's a big muscle. It's hidden away, tucked away under there. So we have a couple of nice little trigger points up, really up high near the pelvis there. And that's the one that can really inhibit that glute medius. So we're just going to use really broad approach, and then we're just going to work it through the range of movement until we hit those trigger points there. And then we'll just hold it at that trigger point, and then we'll wait for it to release, okay? Here you go, here, buddy. So,
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, we're working with our female athletes. We need to be mindful of their informed consent in this area. Obviously with athletes, due consideration for draping, informed consent telling them where we're working as well. That's good. So the great thing about this is these aren't really, really loaded and restricted.
Yeah.
See, if you were an endurance runner, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
So we're getting a really quick release. Some of these I hold for, 3 minutes, 4 minutes on some people, just to get a release.
Yeah.
But with you, it's much better. That's good. That's really good. See that?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Feel that? Feel how different that is? So now we're at end range. You're probably only feeling it out here.
I hardly even feel it when we go out there.
Okay, beautiful. That's what you want to be feeling like. So when you run, when you get up, what you should feel like, you're being oiled from the inside out.
Yeah.
That's what that should feel like. That is so much better, mate. That's good. Okay. Now, that's that last bit. I'm going to hit that TFL there.
TFL.
Tensor fascia lata. Internal rotator of the hip. Works with glute medius as well. So what we'll do, we'll just engage the very bottom of the muscle. And what we're going to do is just work it over into hip adduction. Hold it there. Just going to strip through the rest of posterior fibre. Yeah, feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So once again, just let me know when this starts to subside.
get started.
Yeah, good. So these are really good. Quick releases. This is really good. As I said before, this, you know, you could be holding these points for 3 to 4 minutes sometimes, so it's really important you get your posture right. Yep, sorry, let me come up a bit further now, pick up that back edge of it. That just intensifies a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is it alright, your pain?
I can manage it.
Yeah, you can manage, okay. Alright, so that's starting to back off.
Yeah.
So. Okay, good. Alright, that's great. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, something straight in here. Yeah, good. Alright, that's terrific. Done. Beautiful. Alright. So that's the hip release technique. So obviously what we're doing here is trying to free up Cal's inhibition in hip extension. Obviously we're balancing out the adductor and glute medius. So that's obviously going to be counterproductive for his hip flexion as he comes through the midline, and obviously he's bringing his knee and thigh up. So there's always the battle between the adductor magnus and the glute medius. And then finally the last part of this release technique is to find out where the restriction is while we take them through passive range of movement. So that's good. So from now, Cal's got some technique work to do with his coach. We'll see him again next week because we'll do some clearing of your calves again. And then obviously we'll be able to try and just put it all together, change that technique. We'll fine tune whatever we need to do here. We'll get back to the track again and then we'll do another video and see where he's at. Sounds good. All right. Happy.
Happy.